And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Sorry for keeping you. There's the blood. Here's the other steak in its plate. Please feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Ah! It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Outdone by a Japanese. Me! By a Japanese schoolboy. No! 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 Okay. The miscolored one is for the prosecution. I'd be reacting that way too. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using curare. As you surmise, I chose that particular day for one important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you plan to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I placed the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as if he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in the chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt? So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure I'd notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I had intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang! That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around, because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Mr. Wilson, where he'd picked up his gun. And this is the first culprit? So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. More than a misdemeanor. Your Excellency. Yes. I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Not bloody likely. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is agreement. This cannot be! Takatsuchi Ouchi does not lose! Not to the likes of this rookie student! You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. Ah! Ryunosuke Naruhodo! What, yes? This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten! You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that! There goes his top knot. A 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. And that's the reason why Gaspin and Winston never win. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern technology, or modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. But what's that? I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. Something's up here. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Yes? In you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. We got Sakura petals. This court is now adjourned. We did it! I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it! I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. It was a pleasure to watch you at work. So you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Hey, at least it's not burgers. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research reporter, Miss Brett, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Speaking of Mikotoba, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Professor Mikotobi studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days we worked together in the same hospital. Never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. It is the law! Watch and learn, my boy. See what happens in the world's largest melting pot. Before it gets overturned and America becomes the bigger one. The spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. The blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yep, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Jezeel Brett, I mean, after all. She's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's gonna face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Jezeel Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. Why not? It's extraterritoriality, isn't it? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Hosonaga! It's extraterritoriality, alright. That was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. Why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, but you're right. And so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature, to our respective governments. They can't invoke a consular court just like that. Can't they? She's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, doesn't it? Something's up here! Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There's never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. All of that for nothing. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. Well, Professor, you're right. There's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I would be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? And you really shouldn't be cooking with that. But let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course! La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. She's 16? Really? I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. You have a natural talent for it. Being a defense lawyer, I mean. Of course, Phoenix Wright's gotta get it somewhere. Listen, Ryunosuke, you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lord needs in order to win? knowledge of the law? No, the ability to believe. A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. Give it a few games, though. That's gonna change. You have to make a choice about what to believe in. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in even then, well, that's not something anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience. You never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, and you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important. Sounds serious. What is it? Ah, you're still here, aren't you? I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory! And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. That too. And with that, my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next chapter. See you guys next time. What a ride.